What's up, everybody? I'm back with another video, CR Sports Analysis, and today we have a huge NBA slate that I'm gonna be getting into. As you see on the left-hand side of my screen, there is a lot of games today, so let's get into it. First, we start off with our recap from yesterday's games. We had a full sweep. For the Monday games, Sacramento and Detroit all came through along with Philly at Miami. The only thing that didn't was DMP, Bam Adebayo. Everything else was green. So if you watch the video, tailed some picks, you should have green. For today, starting off Atlanta at Orlando. This is a big matchup today for these teams. 7-3. Last 10 is going to Atlanta. 4-6 against the spread for Orlando in the last 10. Orlando has never won back-to-back games in their last 10 games as well, so make sure you pay attention to that. Atlanta could come out with the victory, but Orlando does play strong at home, 20-19 at home. Atlanta 17-21 away. Injury side of things, Trae Young probable for today. Wagner Suggs out for the season, as you know. The props that I have for that game are Desmond Bane, 15 points. Wait, no. Excuse me. For Orlando game, I have Trae Young, 15-20 and 6-8 assists. Paolo B, 20 points, and Wendell Carter Jr. over 7.5 rebounds. Let me get into that Wendell Carter pick, for you real quick. The picks that I do have in bold when I go back to my screen will be the main plays for today that I have. So if we go over the rebounds, Wendell Carter, we see here his line is at 7.5. I do like that. He had 15 rebounds against them last time. If you go to his last 10 games, he's playing over 16 minutes. So we're just going to go to 16. 10% usage, 86% versus Atlanta, cashing in 6 out of 7 games. On the season, though, however, 23 out of 52. But what I want to point out is he's never went more than 5 games on the season without getting 8 rebounds. So I do love Wendell Carter Jr. pick today for rebounds. As you see, he plays center. They are ranked 8th in rebounding against the center position. But like I said, he's never went over 5 games all season long without getting 8 rebounds. And if we look at him at home, he's 100%. Atlanta, I know those games are a long time ago, but they still hold true sometimes. If we look at home on a Tuesday this year, he's 0 for 2. If we look at home versus Eastern Conference teams, still 5 for 14. Last 30 bumps up to 15 out of 30. But we do like this pick, though, because he's never went more than 5 games all season long without getting 8 rebounds. So Wendell Carter Jr. over 7.5 rebounds. Next pick we had was Trae Young, 15-20 points, 6-8 assists. As you see, Trae Young go down to 20 points. He's never went just one game in a row where he didn't get over 20 the next game versus Orlando. So I do like Trae for 20 today. I do think he can get over 20. As we see in away games this year, 26 out of 36. Head-to-head, 5 of 7. Last 30, 21 out of 30. What we do love about away games this year with 20 points is that he's only gone twice with just getting 1 green tick and not getting it the next, and he had 19. So we do like that. We look at him versus Eastern Conference teams. Every time he had 19 the game prior, he cashed over the next game. So we see this 19 over, 19. We're looking for another over. You can even go as far as every time he had over 16 points the game before he got over 20 the next. As we see 17 over. 14 he did not, but another 15, 19, 17, 19 game he went over. We do love that. On a Tuesday, he's cashed us in 2 out of 3 away games on a Tuesday this year. If you look at just on a Tuesday, he's cashed this in 6 out of 7 games on a Tuesday. In his last 27 Tuesday games, he's cashed this 22 times. So I do like him for 15 to 20. We also like him from 6 to 8 today for assist. He had 6 against them last time. We're looking at 8 assists, 8 out of 12 games versus. And on the season, 62 out of 73 games at 85%. If we just look at 6 rebounds, pretty easy. Look at him at home games and away games. It jumped. Home is 95%, away is 97%. He's cashed this in 35 out of 36 away games this season. We do love these 3 picks for Atlanta or at Orlando. Next game is Memphis at Charlotte. I have Memphis money line, considering that Memphis needs to win today. The spread is minus 15.5, pretty large spread. Maybe throw Memphis money line on a parlay. They're 7-3 against them in their last 10, 6-3 against the spread. However, they are 3-7 in their last 10 games. 2-8 against the spread. Charlotte 2-8 against the spread, 2-8 in their last 10. 12-28 at home. Memphis 21-18 away. Not a lot of injuries from Memphis. I do think Memphis can pull away with this one. For this game, I have Desmond Bane, 15 points. Luke Kennard over 5.5 points. And Jaren Jackson Jr., 15 points. So we go to Desmond Bane. Go over to him. I do like Luke Kennard a lot in this game. So we'll get to him next after this Desmond Bane pick. So if you look for Desmond Bane, if I can find him, which I cannot find him. Here you go. His line is 18.5. He's cashed this in 4 out of 5 games versus Charlotte. His last game he played them, he had 24 points. His last 30, he's cashed this in 18 out of 30. So we like to take him for 15. He does have good value at 15. He's cashed this in 50 out of 66 games this season. And if we go down where he's playing over 28 minutes a game, just put him at least 25 just in case of blowout. 13% usage rate in the last 10 is the lowest. So now we see 48 out of 60 games this year. His last 24 out of 30 games, he's cashed and gone over 15 points. So we do like that. If we look at away games, this jumps up to 84%, 27 out of 32. And he's never won just 2 games in a row where he didn't cash the third game with getting 15 points. So we do like that. Next pick, Luke Kennard. Let's see, Luke Kennard over 5.5 points, 100% versus Charlotte. He had 23 against them last time. As you see, his minutes were 25 and his uses were 17. We do see his minutes drop. His usage rate drops all the way down, so we're just going to do 3% usage. He is playing, however, over 18 minutes a game. So we're going to put him 18. Hopefully he goes a blowout. But as we see, these are his stats on the season, 41 out of 51 games. Last 30, 22 out of 30. If we look at in away games this year, he's never went more than 2 games in a row without getting 6 points. So you can't find this prop on like Prize Picks and, those types of apps. Sleeper, you can find this pick on there. So, I would recommend taking him for over, 5.5 points. Just because of, this is an NBA player. This is the same thing with Jonas Valanciunas. I took him for over 3.5 rebounds yesterday. He ended up getting like 8, only on like 8 minutes played. So we do like that. And the last pick that we do have is Jaren Jackson, 15. We see that he's gone over 15 points in every single game versus Charlotte. And he went over in 60 out of 71 games this season. If we look at away, his last 30. In his last 30 games, he's never won just a single game where he did not get 15 points the game after not getting it the game before. So we do like that. He did it one time right here with, you see this one green tick and then this one green. He did it one time, but, that's one time on a season. If we look at away versus Eastern Conference teams, he's hit this in 12 out of 14 games this year and 27 of his past 30 games away versus Eastern Conference teams. So that is what I do have for Memphis at Charlotte. Next, we're looking at Chicago and Cleveland. Um, I do like Chicago here in this game. Minus 14 spread, 13.5. Cleveland money line. I'm probably going to go Cleveland money line. Main reason why I say that is because the Cavaliers are 7-0 this year without Donovan Mitchell. Head to head, they're 9-1 versus Chicago, 4-6 against the spread. Chicago is 7-3 in their last 10, 6-4 against the spread. Cleveland is also 6-4 in their last 10, 3-7 against the spread. Injury side of things, like I said, only person's out for Cleveland is Mitchell. Chicago, Herter's out, White's out. Vucevic is also questionable along with Josh Giddey. So pretty easy. For that game, I got Darius Garland, 15 points. Vucevic, if he does play, 10 to 15 points. And Jared Allen, 6 rebounds. Main pick for this game probably is Chicago money line and Jared Allen 6 rebounds. And let me show you why Jared Allen 6 rebounds is a main play. As we see, we did take him the other day, but he did not come through. But on the season, he's never went more than 2 games this whole season without getting more than 6 rebounds. They're playing at home, and he's never went back-to-back home games all season without getting over 6. So Cleveland money line, Jared Allen 6 rebounds, pretty easy. Garland 15 points. Maybe take a look at Hunter as well for some value at 10 points. We do like that. Next game we're looking at is Boston at New York. This will be one of the better games today because there probably will be a lot of blowout games today. As we see, these spreads are pretty high. These spreads today are pretty high, so there should be a lot of blowout games, but this is the one game that I do think will be close. They're playing at New York. New York is 27-12 at home, and Boston is 32-7 away. It's pretty good stats on both their ends. New York is 7-3 in the last 10, 7-3 against the spread. Boston 9-1 in the last 10, 7-3 against the spread. Head-to-head, Boston does beat them outright, 7-3 and 6-3 against the spread in the last 10. Injury side of things, Brunson is set to make a return. We're not sure if he still is on minutes restriction. He did play a little bit Sunday. McBride probable. On Boston side of things, though, you got to be careful because Jaylen Brown is questionable. Horford's out. Holiday is probable. Derek White probable. Porzingis questionable, and Tatum is questionable. So if Tatum and Brown do not play, I do like New York in this game. You just have to wait and see, when that game comes out. But for that game, I do have Derek White, 2 threes made. Karl-Anthony Towns, 15 to 20 points, 8 to 10 rebounds. I guess I can just go over those real quick, just because there is a lot of games. So we did have Karl-Anthony Towns. If you look at him head-to-head, what did I say? 6 to 8, I believe. If you look at him for 6 rebounds, it should be pretty easy. Did I do have 6 to 8 or 8 to 10? I had 8 to 10 for Karl-Anthony Towns. That is on me. But we see 6 rebounds. He's gone over in every single game this year. 6.5, just 1. 8 rebounds right here. He's hit this in 64 out of 70 games this year. 25 is past 30. Head-to-head, he had 18 against Boston in February. On February 23rd, he had 9 against them also in February. He had 7 against them early October. Well, late October, actually. But we still do like him for over 8 to 10 rebounds. We also had him for 15 to 20 points. Towns 15 to 20 points might be a stretch today. He might be more of a, passer, rebounder type of player today, depending on what type of game this will be. But you see, he's hit this in 33 out of 38 games this year. He's never went just 2 games in a row where he didn't cash the 3rd game without getting 15 points away. So we do like that. He's on a 3-game streak of getting over 15 points. And as you see, he's only had 1 time this year where he just went 3 games. So maybe not take Towns' points today, but instead take his rebounds. I also do like him over 2.5 assists. I was pretty much thinking about taking that. Maybe just put him for 2 assists. Derek White, three-pointer. His line is at 3.5, pretty high. We just like him for 2 threes, obviously. He's hit this in 65 out of 74 games. Head-to-head, he's hit this in 7 of 13. Every game he's played in New York this season, he had over 4 threes. So I do like Derek White for 2. I also like him for 10 points. Next game we're looking at is Minnesota at Milwaukee. Giannis 20 points, 8 rebounds. Rudy Gobert 8 to 10 rebounds. Julius Randle 15 points. Anthony Edwards 15 to 20. As you know, Giannis has gotten over 20 points at home every single game this season. So we do like that. We do like Giannis points. Let's check out his rebounds. 4 out of 5, cashing his original line. We bump him down to 8 rebounds. At home this year, he's never gone back-to-back games without getting 8 rebounds. I do like Giannis for 8. Also, Anthony Edwards points. If you take a look, he's gotten over 20 points in every single game versus Milwaukee since 2021. His whole career, basically. He's cashed this in 61 out of 75 games this year. If you look at away, it jumps up to 84% on 32 out of 38 games. We do like Anthony Edwards 15 to 20 points today. If you want to take him over 16.5 just for a little bit more value, you can. But that will be his line and his plays that I would have for him today. Next, they actually do have pretty good props in this game. I do think this Minnesota-Milwaukee will be a good prop game. Maybe take a look at Kevin Porter, Kyle Kuzma, maybe Mike Conley as well, to be honest. I didn't really get too much into this game just because there's so many games on. As you see, I swept yesterday's slate, but, you know, it was easy because there was only 2 games. So with it being 10-plus games, it's kind of harder to get to all of these players. But Julius Randle away this season, he's cashed 15 points in 24 out of 34 games. He had 15 the last away game. If we look at on the season, the last time he had 15 points on the dot was never. So we do like Julius Randle for 10 to 15 today. I'm not really going to get into him too much. Still got a couple more games left to go over. I did say him for 15 points. We also like Rudy Gobert for 8 to 10 rebounds. Let's take a look at Rudy Gobert real quick. Rebounds. Rudy Gobert at 12.5. His line is 12.5. He said 12.5 in 5 out of 6 games versus Milwaukee. He had 14 against them last time. So if we just look at him for 10, he's gone over in every single game versus Milwaukee. So maybe Rudy Gobert double-double. He's hit 10 in 42 out of 68 games this year and 20 of his past 30 games. We look at him away. Not the greatest, 16 out of 32 games this year. So that is why I do like him for 8 today. Rudy Gobert taking a look at 8. If we look at versus Eastern Conference teams, let's see. On a Tuesday, 7 for 7. I know that was last year, not this year, but on a Tuesday this year, he's cashed this in 6 out of 7 games this year on a Tuesday. We do like Rudy Gobert from 8 to 10 rebounds. Next game we're looking at is LA at OKC. They just played the other day at OKC. LA whooped them. It probably will be a different game today, but if I were you, I will take the Lakers spread plus 15.5. That's pretty much a free one. I don't see the Lakers losing by more than 15 points today, considering they just blew them out 126 to 99. Now, will the Lakers win this game? That's a little questionable. OKC is 34-6 at home this season, while the Lakers are only 18-20 away. The Lakers 7-3 in the last 10, 7-3 against the spread. That's why I do like the spread. They're 7-3, and I mean, plus 15.5 is pretty high for the Lakers. They're currently on a 2-game win streak, 5-5 in the last 10, 4-5 against the spread. OKC is 8-2 in the last 10, 8-2 against the spread, 2-game losing streak. I do see that changing today. Same injuries on OKC side of things, but LA has some new injuries on the report. Luka Doncic questionable, Reeves questionable, and James questionable. Now, if one of those players don't play, say James doesn't play, OKC money line all the way. Luka doesn't play, OKC money line all the way. But if all three of those players play today, I do like the Lakers spread. For that game, if these players are playing today, LeBron James, 15 to 20 points, 4 to 6 assists, 4 rebounds. SGA, 20 points, 4 assists. Luka Doncic, 20 points, 4 to 6 assists, 4 to 6 rebounds. Hartenstein, 6 to 8 rebounds. If we go over to that game, we did say Hartenstein, 6 to 8 rebounds. His line is at 8.5. He had 6 against them last time, so that's why I do say 6. If we see 6 in his last 30, he's cashed this in 25 out of 30 games. Also in his last 30, what I do love about this pick is every time he had 6, he had over 10 the game after. So I kind of like Hartenstein for a double-double today, if I'm being honest. He's hit this line in 51 out of 71 games, 51 out of 57 games this year. Just that 6 rebounds. If you look at him at home this year, he's hit this in 22 out of 27 games. We do like him for 6 to 8 rebounds. Also, we have Luka Doncic, 4 to 6 rebounds. As we see head-to-head, he's gotten over 6 rebounds every game versus OKC. We also like the assists the same, 4 to 6 assists. He had over 4 assists every single game versus OKC. Every time their head-to-head is 100% and it's like 10-plus games, it's kind of guaranteed, unless there's a blowout or they get hurt. We also like Luka for 20 today. He's been playing very, very well on the Lakers. In his last 20 games, he's only went under 20 points one time. We do like that, 81% on the season, 38 out of 47 games for 20 points. Maybe take him 15 for a guarantee. Same thing for LeBron. Rebounds, head-to-head. He's gotten over 6. No, that is not LeBron James. Let's see, LeBron James rebounds. What I do like LeBron James rebounds is he's never went more than 2 games all year without getting 4 rebounds. He's hit this line in 7 of 8 games versus OKC. We did pick him last time. He did not get 4. He ended up with 3. But I'm very confident that he's going to end up getting 4 rebounds today. Also, assist. I do like his assist today at, maybe 6 assists. But we can bump him down to 4 to 6. 4 assists on the year. He's hit this in 64 out of 67 games. If we look at away, 33 out of 34 games, we're getting 4 or more assists. That's pretty good. Look at head-to-head. I kind of like LeBron today, 420. But I probably will take him for 15. Every time he's gotten over 15 points, he's cashed over 20 the next game this season. Besides 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of 6 games this season, he's went over 20 points every time the game before. Excuse me, I'm going to just take all that out, Don't worry about what I was just saying, but as you see, we do like LeBron for 20 points today. Maybe even go down for 15, but 20 definitely for some value. I could see him easily getting 20 today. 63 out of 67 games this season. Only thing that scares me is a blowout. But if these players are playing, I really don't expect a blowout. We also have SGA assists, 6.5 assists. I know I'm not getting to the details in this video, but we still getting it through. 11 out of 11 games versus the Lakers, we're getting 4 assists with SGA. I do like him for 4. On the season, he's 68 out of 76 games this year, and obviously 20 points is 20 points for SGA. That's not even negotiable anymore. He said this in 75 out of 76 games this year. So we do like that for him. The last game that we do have for today is Golden State at Phoenix. I will be taking Golden State money line. Pretty easy. Phoenix is pretty much out of the playoffs. The money line is minus 450 right now. Spread 9.5. In the last 10 games, Phoenix is 1 in 7 out of 10 games. 2 and 8 against the spread for Phoenix in the last 10. So probably taking Golden State spread today. I'm not gonna lie. Golden State spread for value, maybe money line and throw them on a parlay. Golden State 7-3 in the last 10, 5-4 against the spread. Phoenix is 3-7 in the last 10 and 4-6 against the spread. They're currently on a 6 game losing streak. They're 23-15 at home. Golden State is 22-17 away. Injury side of things, no injuries for Golden State. Phoenix, Richards probable, Durant out. The props that I have in that game are Curry 15 to 20 points or over 17.5. I'll get to that in a second. B.hield over 8.5 points. 2 threes made. Jimmy Butler 15 points. Devin Booker 15 points. First, let's get into the Stephen Curry pick over 17.5 or 15 to 20 points. 17.5 is the sweet spot for Curry today. I do believe Curry will be going over 17.5 points today. So, we go down. Let's see. His line is at 25.5. Look at him for 20. He's hit this in 46 out of 66 games this year. As we see, last time he scored under 5 points against Memphis, he went over 25 points in this game. So he had under 5 the previous. We're looking for another over 20. We do love that about Curry. The game before, he does bad. The next game, he does not disappoint. In his last 30 games, he's never went back-to-back games without getting over 20 points, So that is something to look at. Another thing to look at, what I do love about 17.5, is all season long, he's never went back-to-back games without getting over 17.5. So kind of keep this pick on hush mode. But Curry over 17.5 and Golden State money line should get you to plus 100. And that should be the flip of the day right there. That probably will be my pick of the day. But it's looking at B.hield, 8.5 points. He's gone over in 7 out of 10 games versus Phoenix. 2 out of 3 this year. He had 13 against them in January. Last 30, he's gone over 15 out of 30. I know it doesn't look that good, but we'll get it to it in a second. 44 out of 78 games this year. We're getting over 8.5. Now, we look at away games. Jumps up to 64%. He's hit this in 25 out of 39 games. In his last 30 games, he's never went more than 2 games in a row without getting more than 8.5 points. So if we look at his last 10 again, take off the filters, we see his lowest minutes was at 12. And his lowest usage was at 7. So we take a look at that. We go away versus West. As we see, he's never went more than 2 games back-to-back without getting over 8.5 points when playing away versus the Western Conference team with getting over 12 minutes. His last 30 holds true as well. This moves over to last year. So this is how I know my analysis is, kind of, a little bit over 50% correct because, this might have a 60 to 70% hit rate on this prop because he's, 2 games right here, 2 games, 2 games, 2 games, 2 games. We're hoping for over this game. Even if he gets 9, that's cool. Maybe try to find him on Prize Picks or take him for a single straight. His line is at 2.5. Keep those same filters on. Bump him down to 2. And as we see on the season, every time he had 0 threes, he had over 2 the next game. So we look at his last 30. Let's see. Let me see. For 2 threes. Well, actually, no, that wasn't the analysis I did. I seen that every time he had 6 threes made the game before, he had at least over 2 the next. So we see 6 right here. Back in October, November, he had 3 the next. We just stay on this line of 6 right here. We see he had another game of 6. He had 4 the next, 6. We're at least hoping he can get 2 threes. Like I say, he's hit this line in 7 out of 10 games. I'm not sure if I said that, but versus Phoenix, he had 3 against them last time. If he gets his 2 threes, he gets another. If he even gets a 3-point prop, that will cash his original prop. So we do like B.hield today. I know it looks kind of questionable looking at all this, but I do like him. Oh, this is it right here. This is what I was looking for. In away games this year, when playing over 12 minutes and at least 7% usage rate, every time he had 0, he went over, except this right here. So, I really feel like he's going to get 2 threes today. I'm kind of going over this, kind of rethinking it. But, I don't want to think too much about it. Away versus West. Let's see, on a Tuesday, away. He's hit this in every single game. Away on a Tuesday. In his last 10 Tuesday games, he's hit this 9 out of 10 games. Let's look at his 8.5. He's hit this in 7 out of 10, 23 out of 30. Never going back-to-back games on a Tuesday without getting 8 and 9 points. So we do love that. Look at his threes on a Tuesday, his last 30. He's hit this in 23 out of 30 games. So we do like that pick. Those are the 2 picks that have value for that game that I do love. Well, really 3. Golden State money line, Curry over 17.5. B.hield over 8.5 points or 2 threes made. We also got Jimmy Butler 15, Devin Booker 15. Booker, I'm not gonna go over 15. Booker is pretty good to give you 15. You don't really have to go over his stats to see that he's a decent player to get 15 points. But Jimmy Butler's line is set at 17.5. You can find value for him at 15. He's 100% versus Phoenix. He hit this game in every single game. He's played them since 2022. On the season, he's cashed this in 33 out of 51 games. Last 10, 6 out of 10. We just go to his last 10 games, put his minutes up to 23 plus, and his usage rate at 10% usage rate or above. We see these cashes in 33 out of 47 games. And every time he's had a high, every time he had 13, he went over 15 the next game. So we see 13 right here, 19 the next, 13 right here, 27, 13. We're hoping for another over right here. And if we look at him for away, jumps up to 75%. Hit this in 15 out of 20 away games this season, 23 out of his last 30. Away, if we look at away again versus West, 6 out of 8 games this year. Just looking at away on a Tuesday. He's hit this in his last 10 out of 11 games on a Tuesday when playing in away. We do like that. We do like Jimmy Butler 15. Props Cash is the website that I use to get these player analysis today. This is pretty much wrapping up my video for today, man. If you want to take a screenshot, you can. These are my picks that I have for today. Follow me on Instagram at cr.bets_. If you enjoyed this video and watched all the way through to this far, leave a comment on what you think I can do better on. Comment, subscribe, share the video. I appreciate you for watching if you're watching this far. And that's all I got for you today. Peace.